Meeting to order. Before we begin, or as we begin, Mr. West will word our prayer. Mr. Hatcher will lead us in the pledge.
Father, to begin this meeting, we ask for your wisdom to help us make sound decisions for our school system. We ask that you be with our students and teachers during our summer vacation season. May they return to school safely in August. Father, we pray for the sick in our community, and may they be restored to a measure of good health. Most of all, Father, we thank you for Jesus Christ and the sacrifice he made on the cross. Guide, guard, and direct us in everything we do. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. And we're certainly glad that everyone's able to be with us tonight. Ms. Weir is joining us via telephone. Are you with us, Ms. Weir? Thank you for being able to hop on with us here for just a moment. Bring us to item number 3 on our agenda, approve the minutes of the May 12th, 2020 regular session and May 19th, 2022 recess session as received.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Upton, second by Mr. West. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 4, approve the agenda for the June 9th, 2022 regular session as you have in front of you. Motion by Ms. Weir, seconded by Mr. Ashland. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item 5, consider bids for the 2022-2023 A, non-ethanol gasoline, diesel, motor oil antifreeze, B, propane fuel, C, dust mops and mats, and D, painting Hermit Springs Gym. If you would like, as we discussed, we can consider items 5A through C to go with, consider them together, going with a single bid.
That's the ones we have now anyway.
It is.
I make a motion to approve A, B, and C.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Sherrill, approved, or seconded by Mr. Upton. Any questions or discussion regarding items A, B, and C and the bids received? If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. That leaves us with item D, painting Hermit Springs Gym. As we discussed in our planning meeting, we have 3 bids that were received. One did have a slight change if circumstances were oil-based.
Motion to vote Richardson.
Motion by Mr. West to go with low bid Richardson's, and that was seconded by Mr. Ashland. Even with the stipulation, one or the other, still low bid.
Still no bid.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item number 6, consider proposals for the annual school activity audit. Again, we received 2 proposals there.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Axlock to go with Ms. Tamara Beckman, and that's been seconded by Mr. West. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 7, consider the transfer of funds within any major classification to the general purpose school budget and the school nutrition program budget to meet obligations by June 30th, 2022. Actually, you want to address anything?
This is basically just permission for us, if we're coding something out of our own category, or if we need to clean up a payroll adjustment or anything like that, that we do those entries. Ms. Monroe signs off on all of our journal entries, so it's just us cleaning up within inside the budget.
Motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Sherrill, seconded by Mr. Lynn. Any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider the 2022-2023 general purpose school budget and the 2022-2023 school nutrition program budget. We'll start with our school nutrition budget since that's what we discussed first in our planning meeting. And you have a copy of that budget in your packet.
Motion to approve the school nutrition.
Motion by Mr. Sherrill to approve,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Upton. Any discussion regarding the school nutrition budget? Again, we have a motion by Mr. Sherrill and seconded by Mr. Upton. If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. That leaves us with the general purpose school budget. Again, this is essentially the budget we discussed last month with the changes that Ashley addressed in our planning meeting previously. Based on the salary schedules that we'll approve at 9 and 10 with the changes again discussed last month.
Motion to approve the budget.
Motion by Mr. Sherrill to approve the general purpose school budget. Seconded by Mr. Ashlock. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item number 9. Consider the 2022-2023 certified personnel salary schedule. You have a copy of that salary schedule in your packet.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. West,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Upton. Again, this does reflect the raises that we discussed last month.
It does make that independent teacher salary 40,000, so, and they did approve that.
It did
as well.
pass.
It did pass, yeah.
In accordance with the state.
It's 5%.
It turned out to be 5 on hers. It wasn't necessarily 5 across the board, but it was 5, yeah, on our schedule.
Just tried to be equitable in places where it wasn't.
Yes.
Appreciate that. We have a motion by Mr. West, seconded by Mr. Upton. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to item 10, consider the 2022-2023 support personnel salary schedule. Again, you have a copy there. Did include the adjustments we discussed last month.
What was that percentage? 13. I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Ashlock,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Sherrill. Any discussion regarding the support personnel salary schedule? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item number 11. Consider the community eligibility program for Salina K School and Hermitage Springs School for 2022-2023 and the school nutrition program provision 2 for Clay County High School for 2022-2023. Again, this is the application process that Ms. Laura has asked us to approve in order to be able to apply for those programs to offer free lunch.
Motion to apply for the programs.
Motion by Mr. West,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Upton. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 12, consider the following contracts for 2022-2023. A, preschool services, Head Start. B, deaf educator consultative services, Vanderbilt Bill Wilkerson Center. C, physical therapy. D, occupational therapy. E, speech and language services. We have one agreement per item there. I'm thankful we can get something.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna do that. I'll make a motion to approve all.
Motion by Mr. Sherrill, seconded by Mr. Lynn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 13, consider the proposed changes to 2022-2023 elementary and high school handbooks on second reading. Again, this is second reading, passed it last month. You have a copy of those proposed changes. Actually, I think these were more so locally.
They were requested by the elementary principals particularly.
At the back of you said it's beige. Is that
It's in that category.
includes a major thing?
I don't know, to be honest, do we have our attorney look at the handbook?
Has it ever been done, Ashley?
I don't know, I've seen it on the paper,
I can tell you in the past, when I did the handbook, I never knew an attorney to approve it, and I don't know if they would take them a very long time. I don't know. Most of the items in the handbook are pretty standard across Tennessee. Rob, is that correct?
Yes, so what, these changes mostly taken from Putnam, Overton, things that are already in place in some of those counties that we did not have for particular scenarios that happened this past school year. So things that other counties already have, we're just catching up with the times.
it's just the grayed out portion, not the highlighted portion.
Yes, the grade.
That's a change, that's the.
This is basically just gonna give us a more teeth.
We're hoping so. We're
Because
hoping
you know
so.
you're not gonna stop it.
We've got to try to slow it down, maybe.
It just gives the principals a little bit, another option.
Exactly. Parents would totally die with that one, guys.
What is typically the level 3 punishment?
I'll let one of the principals answer that, since you all deal with that. We've got a handbook in my office if y'all.
Level 2, level 3, it's based on our judgment call, but it can generally, it winds up being ISS or even alternative school. And/or if requested by the parent, corporal punishment.
Mr. Hatcher, there's like this list.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure some little kid's not getting expelled for taking a picture of their friend. Under That was my each- biggest Under concern. each level, there's a set of options for each one, so. Because I can see some second graders doing this and not thinking twice about it, not even realizing it's a problem.
A lot of it's not really from that area, it's more in middle school that a lot of your problems run into. That I've seen, especially this year.
What we try to do with anything that comes up, whatever the subject, whoever the proper central office person is, this was Rob, well, we'll ask them to call around and see what, Jackson and Macon and Overton and different counties are doing, and get an idea of what's going on with counties around us. I think that helps us to get a better perspective on any subject, don't matter what it is.
I make a motion.
Need a motion by Mr. Ashlock to approve changes the handbooks on second reading, and that's been seconded by Mr. Upton. Any further discussion or questions? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item 14, considering the following coach for 2022-2023. A. Wilson Cates, Clay County High School football volunteer, non-paid.
You recommend we send it over?
I do.
Motion approved.
He's a Livingston kid. He was, of course, I think he played under, well, I don't know that Coach Lamb was a head coach when he was there, but Coach Lamb was on staff. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't he the, Matt was a head coach. He was a quarterback when they won the state championship.
I don't know.
Yeah, he went on to play at Princeton. He had 4 years of football at Princeton.
He knows his football.
We have a motion by Mr. West to approve.
I second.
Seconded by Mr. Upton.
Oh, Lord.
You said?
So we've done all the background check, everything we're good.
Yeah, he,
Everything came back.
He's in the process of getting that done right now.
motion on the floor by Mr. West, seconded by Mr. Upton. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to item number 15, consider the following trip request. A, Clay County High School Fishing Club for students to Paris Landing State Park for the state championship fishing tournament from June 1st to the 4th, 2022, retroactive to May 23rd, 2022.
Got 2 votes. Opposed to. Who? I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Upton.
I just want to vote.
Seconded by Mr. Lynn. Any discussion?
Oh.
This was, Parks and Lights, third
I just can't see them doing it.
I think it's good too.
One of them actually won a scholarship from him.
Did you? Well,
That
good.
is super.
Good.
Again, motion on the floor by Mr. Upton, seconded by Mr. Lynn. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 16, consider the following policy on first reading. A, revised policy 4.600 grading system. Again, we discussed that in our planning meeting. It was initiated by a change at the state level. We have chosen to apply that policy system-wide. Motion by Mr. Ashlock. Second by Mr. West. Since it's first reading, I'll call the roll. Before we do any discussion? If not, we'll call the roll. Mr. Ashlock?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Aye.
Ms. Weir? Aye. Mr. Hatcher?
Aye.
Mr. Upton?
Aye.
Mr. Sherrill?
Aye.
Mr. Lynn? And I vote aye. Motion passes. 17, consider the following policies on second reading. A, revised policy 1.102, board members' legal status. B, revised policy 5.303, personal and professional leave. C, revised policy 6.206, transfers within the system. Second reading on these policies.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Sherrill. Second by Mr. Lynn. If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to our principal's report. Mr. Maxfield, sir, if you'd like to go first.
Since I wasn't here last month, I wanted to kind of go back just real quick and just to mention some people that have done a lot to help us. And TCAP testing was a success. We had 100% of the students to test. That's phenomenal. I would like to say a special thank you to our faculty staff and all their efforts in making this successful. And also special thanks to Miss Laura Smith, Debbie Eads, and Miss Missy Strong in getting the test materials ready, ensuring that all students tested and then getting them shipped off. So that's a great mark, and the state puts a lot of pressure on us, and I commend those ladies and all their efforts in making that possible. All of our year-end events were very successful. We had a very successful spring sports season. We competed in some tournament play with our baseball team. Very proud of all of them. Want to thank the board and Ms. Monroe and everything that you all have done to help us complete another school year. That means a lot to your all support. Our summer camp and Kinder Boost are both off to a great start. I do want to talk about just a little bit about Kinder Boost or Save the Children and how much they have really meant to us. It's a special program that we get grants and things. They give us a lot of free stuff, and I'm all about free and getting that. And today they had shipped. Of course, they shipped it back earlier, and I know Mr. Upchurch and some others had played a big part. And we give out a lot of free clothing today to a lot of people in the community and around about, and that's really great. And they've got other programs that they're putting in the school. I know Mr. G has talked about it in the past. It's just a lot, and they got more to see and more things to do for us. So we really appreciate them. We are currently getting our rooms stripped and waxed for the upcoming school year. So again, it's all like the boss said, it's a big rush. This is crunch time. It seems like. Even though it seems like everything should be settled, it's not. So thank you all again.
Any questions for Mr. Maxfield? Thanks, sir. Ms. Tia?
Of course, the last couple of months, we've collected textbooks, Chromebooks, chargers, got everything ready. We've inventoried them all, put them all in Chromebook carts. Classrooms are all emptied. Several of our classrooms have already been stripped, waxed, and ready to be put. The rooms are ready to be everything put back in them. We are currently this week hosting a CTE Summer Bridge program where the kids are taking trips. That's what all these orange forms are in my hand that Miss Ashley brought me to sign. They've been taking trips every day this week, touring businesses. They've really had actually a bit of fun this week. They've really enjoyed that. I've actually had a parent contact me already because their kid has decided to change their program of study as of yesterday because of this program. So they thought they wanted to do something, then decided they wanted to do something different just because of them touring in this program. We are currently working over the summer with TTU to offer a FOED class for future teachers that will actually be taught at Clay County High School. So anybody that's wanting to be a teacher will get 3 hours of college credit through Tech at our building starting hopefully this fall. In addition to all the other college classes they can take. We have several students that is attending credit recovery for this summer. We didn't have that many, but we do have several that needed to get their credits recovered. And lastly, 4 of our juniors passed the SDC American History Challenge exam and 1 freshman. So all 5 of those students will receive college credit for just passing that state test. And it's a very hard test to pass. So we've got 5 students that's going to earn college credit just by passing that course.
Any questions for Ms. Tia? Thank you. That brings us to number 19, our director report.
I just want to let all of you know we've got a lot of things going on, and I think a lot of really positive things. Again, it's already been said, but over 200 parents and children showed up today from 10 to 2 for our first ever Save the Children clothing giveaway. We had infant clothing up through, I guess, sizes 14 or so. And we just have whatever was on a semi-trailer. And it was organized down here with, Miss Misty orchestrated all of this, organized it all. Mr. Upchurch, Robbie, Miss Christie, Miss Kim Upton. We all worked out there, Mr. Maxfield, Miss Tia. Everybody worked out all morning, got everything lined up, organized. And I've got some pictures if any of you board members want to see. You cannot believe the people that were here getting clothes. And we encouraged all of them, you buy your children the clothes they need today, but you get sizes on up until the clothes are gone. We also have hand soap to give away. We have disinfectant to give away. We have winter coats to give away. We're going to do all of this again, either July 15 or July 22nd. We're going to do it again, hopefully get rid of all the clothes. Miss Misty's going to call the lady tomorrow from Save the Children and request shoes. You cannot believe how many parents ask us today at Misty.
We've already sent the request.
Well, so
putting it
on
out, it's indefinite what we'll get, but
Yeah.
we have requested, because that's one thing that our parents continue to ask for today.
Yes.
But the appreciation was phenomenal today.
It was unreal. The people that just hugged us and thanked us, they couldn't believe all the, I wish you should see the clothes. It was Carter's and Oshkosh. Brand in tags still on it. The only stipulation, we made that very clear to the parents, nothing can be resold. Nothing can be resold. So anyway, the principals had training along with some central office people again at the Fall Creek Falls this past Monday and Tuesday. That was a very successful conference. We had the finance director for education to talk about the new funding formula. Some of these times I want to share some ideas about that with you. We had all the licensure, the director of licensure to help all our teachers hopefully get all those things straightened out. Clay County is one of the very few counties in the state of Tennessee. We have only one teacher on a waiver in our whole school system. We have had 2 math teachers this year to pass the praxis and take care of other things. We have more certified math teachers, science, special ed teacher, and all these specialty areas. All the other counties are really scrambling. Now, so far, we're really blessed with having our teachers highly certified, highly qualified, so I feel very blessed about that. We have almost 60 children, 3 to 4-year-olds in Kinder Boost. That's a 10-day program in Clay County, and we're hoping that to see phenomenal results. Again, I've mentioned the substantial CTE money that is supposed to fund innovative programs to make our students job ready. Again, the State Department is writing the rules as we speak, and hopefully we're going to get to submit what direction we want to go and get the state to approve that here in a couple of months. We have summer learning camps. It's in our 3rd week. It ends next week, and our teachers are doing reading training. Tomorrow we start a meeting to open up dialogue with the sheriff and our chief deputy and several of our central office staff folks on school safety and security. We've got some things we've got to address and try to work on some gaps that we could possibly have. And we're going to start that in the morning at 9 o'clock. If any of you are available, you're welcome to come. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Rowe? Thank you. Any other business that needs to be considered at this time? Mr. Hatcher, would you like to request the advisor?
I thought sunglasses would work. I'll get by. I'm just trying not to look at Mark.
That's what it is.
You didn't have to say that, did you?
There's no other business, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Upton, second by Mr. Webb. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.